Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lowe, JT, and friends. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lowe, JT, and friends.
Lisa, Lowe, JT, and friends. Y'all ready to cook up some conversation? Come on.
Kitchen talk.
Let's talk.
All right. Look who popped in the show.
What's going on?
Good. Welcome, family. We are back from our little hiatus, Kitchen Talk, CTC.
Conversations that cook.
Cook. There it is.
Let's make it hot.
And today we really got a hot conversation, but we got a little extra sauce with Mr. Scott, Dr. Scott, who's going to join us with Mrs. Gaines and Mrs. Kirkland. And they're going to talk to us about Old West, the Old West, Florida. I'm not even going to give you the full name because they gave me the name earlier. Like, I don't want to mess it up, Doc. So, ladies, welcome to the show. We are excited to have you on. Ms. Gaines, we met face to face. You're one of our first fans. I want to say that. One of our first fans.
Absolutely.
We had the pleasure of actually taping in the kitchen, in her kitchen. So we definitely appreciate that. And we're excited to have this conversation tonight. So I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves to our guests, to our fans online, and then we'll get into the conversation.
Awesome. My name is Cynthia Gail Gaines. I'm a member of Shady Grove No. 1 Primitive Baptist Church. Elder Lenora McFadden is my pastor. And I, along with Mother Kirkland, are the co-chairs of the Public Relations Committee. And we're excited to share with you this evening.
Awesome. Ms. Kirkland?
Hello, everyone. My name's Angela Kirkland. I'm from Greater Mount Zion Primitive Baptist Church. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And of course, Mr. Scott, not a stranger to the show. Go ahead.
Well, again, I'm Marvin Scott, and I'm the CEO of LM3 Solutions. And hey, this is my second home here on Kitchen Talk because I like to make conversations that cook.
Man.
Wow.
Well, tonight we have a really good hot conversation because the ladies here have some great information about a great organization that's doing some great work in our community. But there's a word when we were talking earlier off before we started that just kept popping in my mind. It was collaboration. Mm-hmm. And how big it is for us as a community to collaborate. But this is more specific in terms of collaborating within churches. There's a big event. Mrs. Gaines, go ahead. Tell us what it's about. I don't want to spoil it for the folks.
Okay, well, there's no way you could spoil it. You're doing an awesome job. Thank you. We are here to talk about the Old West Florida Primitive Baptist Association. And what that is, as I've talked about earlier, it's not an organization, it is an organism. It is comprised of 40 churches that cover 5 different counties. The counties are Gadsden, Leon, Gulf, Wakulla, and we've just recently added Thomas County in Thomasville, Georgia. So we're 5 counties, 4 in Florida, 1 in Georgia. And of those 40 churches, once a year, we come together and have what's called our annual session. Mm-hmm. So this is our 152nd meeting. Of course, wow. Yes. And so as we prepare for our 152nd, we've been having events along the way. We're down now to our last major event before the association. And that event is called Jail and Bail. So Mother Kirkland, would you like to tell them about Jail and Bail?
Yes, our jail and bail, it's a spiritual jail. So let's not get it, let's not get it twisted. No pastors from Old West is actually going to jail. But we've got this thing where, you know, it's a fundraiser and it's something that's fun and it's something that's different. It gives the saints a little bit something different to do. And each pastor is asked to go to spiritual jail, and we're going to have them come into the Old West Center, and there's going to be like a little makeshift jail that the youth department is involved in as well. And their members who are already starting to raise money now has to come and bail them out. And of course, they all want to hear Jesus paid it in full. So Jesus dropped the charges. But again, it is a way for us to have a little bit of spiritual fun. You know,
I love it. I love it. Jesus did pay it in full now. I don't know why they're going to be in jail. And all they need to do is call on the Holy Ghost.
One of the reasons that we're really pushing fundraising this year is because we're trying to pay off our mortgage. That is a huge edifice. I don't know if you've been down Lake Bradford Road, but this is huge edifice that we've been working on paying for for years. We are under the leadership, I failed to say before, under Elder Chris A. Burnett. He is our moderator.
Okay.
Our vice moderator is Elder Kenton Floyd. Not only is Elder Bernie the moderator, but he also pastors his own church, which is St. Mark's Primitive Baptist Church. So he has a dual role. But the question might come up with, why in the world are all of you, 40 churches, why are you all interested? Well, one of the things that we can do, and Pastor Bernie is so often says this, we do it better when we do it together.
Okay.
So just imagine everybody has their own churches in all these counties doing their separate thing. But once a year we come together and we're all worshiping the same. We're all training the same. Everybody is involved. Now, by way of a little background, I want you to know that the Enrichment Center is called just that, the Enrichment Center. It's not called the mega church. It's called the Enrichment Center. We are able to house over 1,500 people at one time. But what that Enrichment Center serves as is the pivot point for us reaching the community. When there was devastation from the storm in Gulf County, the churches of the Old West got together, got supplies, got water, and took it to Gulf Coast. I don't know if you've watched lately, but book bag drives.
Yes.
That center is where book bag drives are happening.
Yes.
Food giveaways are happening there.
Yes.
Just very recently, we have used our grounds as a parking spot for people who are coming with SUVs to the big vehicles, to the games.
The RVs.
Yeah.
So they're coming and parking there. So we have something that's called the Moses Project, where women get together and prepare layouts for young women who would not otherwise be able to prepare those things for themselves. So the community outreach that comes from that an enrichment center is where we all come together, but we're reaching all facets of the community. And no matter what we have, food bag, book bag giveaway, we never say Primitive Baptist. We never say Black. We never say saved. We say people.
Right.
And that's what outreach is about, is the church reaching people. So that's what we do. And then when we come together, oh my word, the old song says, when we all get together, what a time.
What a time. Okay. You taking it back. You taking it back.
Way back. So we are going to come together and we're going to have we're going to do jail and bail on Saturday. And then on Tuesday, October the 12th is our opening session. So that's when the churches will come together. A group of churches are in charge.
Right.
And they will be responsible for the devotion, the workshops, all of that. And then in the evening at 6:30, we will have a worship service. And everybody will be there, but one particular speaker is in charge of the service for that particular night. And we'll have greetings from local officials, and it's wonderful. And then every single day, Monday through Friday, Tuesday through Friday, there is an event. Mother Kirkland, do you want to talk about some of the little things we have, like the sales and the food trucks and all that business that's going to happen?
Yes. And again, what I might want to add as well, it's called our central meeting place, and it's central to the community. It's central to the city of Tallahassee. So we're invited, like we're not calling this a primitive Baptist thing or whatever. We're asking everybody to come and join us. to come and hear some really, really good preaching. And with Elder Bernie, you're going to get a concert free of charge as well. So again, it's central to what the community needs. One thing, Mother Gail, I don't know if you've noticed, is that they have added a COVID testing site right there on our campus.
Oh, wow.
That way, people in the surrounding area,
Right.
they might not be able to get to FAMU. They might not be able to get to the health department. They can walk right across the street and get tested.
Wow.
So again, explore the community, and we invite everyone out to join in these festivities.
Oh, absolutely.
So it feels like it's more of a community center, a community housing place to kind of draw people together. It doesn't matter if you're Primitive Baptist or Episcopalian. There's so many different regions, but you're welcoming everybody to this event. Is that correct?
That is
Exactly.
absolutely correct. Absolutely. Yeah. Our theme this year is redeeming the time, fulfilling the mandate. That's from Ephesians. So fulfilling the time, and look at the time that we're in. Social distancing is the buzzword. Well, because we house 1,500 people at one time, we have that capability. And that's just in the sanctuary part. People have funerals there, and they can be there safely. They can social distance without fear. So funerals are held there. We also rent out space to another church. There's a daycare center on the premises. So there are lots of ways that this building serves as our place that we serve the entire community.
Yeah, I believe Family Worship and Praise is there currently.
Yes,
Is that correct?
yes.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy.
Yes, indeed.
That's my guy.
Fantastic. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
So we are.
Dr. Scott,
I was just going to say, that I know that a lot of different organizations and individuals use the building. So it is truly a community center where individuals that don't have to be a part of that association can use it. I can remember back in 2007, I put on an illustrated message. I actually used the building in 2007. So, to a testament to the building is available. It's easy to, get in contact with individuals who are involved with, securing the building. So, yeah, it is truly a community building where anyone can actually come in and use the building.
Oh,
Yeah, see, I was there recently for a funeral, and going back to the COVID thing, I knew the facility already. I knew that it was a big facility, and the funeral was for a very close friend, and I knew that there were going to be a lot of people there. But it held everybody. Everybody felt safe. Everybody was, had the room to kind of do the visual and not feel like you're on top of somebody. So, that to me is huge for this event. I think, what's the protocol in terms of making sure that it's safe for people to participate, because that's probably one of the biggest things people will say, well, is it safe for me to be there?
It is safe, and we have been having CDC protocol being followed long before just now. So we have the spacing, we have temperatures that are being taken. Everybody has to wear a mask regardless of the event. And then the place is cleaned on a regular basis because we have a cleaning staff. There's also a person that is on staff there all the time so that you can actually come in and see the facility for yourself. So yes, it's a safe place. And the fact that it is the largest single facility in this area for, I'll just say, for any kind of event. So that's funeral, wedding, whatever it is that you want to have. We had my great aunt's 80th birthday there, and there's a facility downstairs for serving food. So it is we're very much able to accommodate all kinds of groups. But now that we know that the facility is wonderful and it is safe, the thing that we want to get out tonight is that the big event, the 152nd annual session of the Old West Florida Primitive Baptist Association is about to come to a city near you. And that city is Tallahassee. Listen, we want to address the spirit man. We want to address the physical man, the whole person. That's what we want to address. So that's why throughout the week we have workshops. So what I was telling you about was wills and probates. That's one we're going to talk about. Another one is how do you develop your church auxiliary. So if you are way down in Port St. Joe, and have very few churches in your area that are part of the association, we all get to come together, and the training will be, this is how we do it. So we set
Okay,
a standard.
Ms. Gail, let's stop there for a second because you hit some big ones right there.
Go
We got to go back a little bit, you know.
Wills and probates.
Right.
Wills and probates, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that one, why that one's so important, especially in this climate. Dr. Scott, what you got?
Well, I was just going to say, I think we have to, that's so important, and we have to make sure people understand that they need that training. It's so sad to see families lose property and lose things because they don't have wills in place. They don't have things set up. And people don't really understand when you have multi-family individuals that get property legacy wise, and you got so many different families, they don't really understand how, if one person decides they want to sell that property and they sell it to someone outside of that family, they don't really understand how that can cause the whole family to lose their property. So I think wills and probates and those different things, that's vital. So again, what day is that?
That one takes place on Tuesday the 12th.
And see, that to me is so important because that's what this is really about. As I heard, this is more about a training opportunity and not just an enrichment, but an opportunity to be educated on some key topics that are affecting us as a community, right? And again, another way to keep this facility that's doing so much great things in, working, keep it moving. So let's move to the next one. We went from wills and probate to church training.
Absolutely. But before you go, Mr. Moyes, I want you to just reflect on our theme when I said redeeming the time.
Yes.
And fulfilling the mandate.
Mm-hmm.
What more appropriate thing in this time of COVID and people that that are dying right and left? Yes. Mm-hmm. And look how it affects the Black community, because now we already didn't prepare, but now it's happening so subtly. Right. And Grandmama and them said they leaving y'all them 10 acres out there on Highway 90 East, but Grandmama and them didn't tell you, just because you wrote it down on a piece of paper, if it's not a legal will. So we're talking about wills. And what about probate? You maybe got to wait till we get it. Yes, baby, you got to wait till you get it. Yep. So this is it's so current. The will, probate, and eminent domain, things that are affecting our community that will knock us off our feet if we don't understand. Right. So we have two, and I said it was Tuesday, but it's actually Wednesday. And we have two attorneys that are coming in. That's Karen Akins and Larry White.
Oh, so that's my guy. That's our frat brother, Mr. Larry White. Oh, Mr. Larry White. Yeah, so that's gonna be a good time with Brother White.
Yes, it's 10:20, so you guys can come on in and take part in that, because it's going to be very important. And if you know of an elderly person in your family that might not understand, if you bring them with you, then you can help them feather through that. It's a lot of information if you're not accustomed to having that. And
it's important. It's important because we have families that you don't want the state to take your stuff. That's how I see it. That's right. The state take your stuff, then you stuck with nothing, and that's not how it should be.
It's
right. And we have such a history of that in our community, in the Black community. We have such a history of the state taking property and individuals losing property because we don't have things like a will in place, or we don't understand eminent domain. And you could go back in history and see how property was used or taken from Black communities and and used as eminent domain and those different things. So it's important. So if you don't have a will in place, if you don't understand probate, then you need to don't meet me there, beat me there, as they say. You need to get there, because one of the things that our people don't really understand when you go back to our communities is a lot of times we don't understand how we can change generation by leaving wealth through our will or life insurance. You'd be surprised how many people they may have just enough to bury them, but not enough to leave a legacy. You know what I mean? So you can get life insurance and leave enough so that your children can afford to pay the property taxes and can, because again, so many people lose because they don't even understand how to pay property taxes, or they just think it's our house. Mama left me this house. but you still got to pay the property taxes. So those things are just so important to our community that we don't really talk about. And so this is some great stuff.
I've talked about this on this show for a number of years. We even have Dr. Scott here as a testament, talking about financial literacy, but not outside the church, but inside the church.
Mm-hmm.
It's important that we continue to train and share the knowledge that we've learned from other areas to bring it back within our own community. So I'm excited about this.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting because as we all know that the mainstay for years of the community has been the church.
Right.
And so if the preacher said it was gospel,
Right.
no doubt about it. So folks that knew things were the people in church. So if we use that platform as our springboard and say, listen, we're not going to send you out to some attorney's office. We are going to bring the information here.
Right.
Yeah.
We're trusted individuals, people we trust, people that we know, people that we can count on to guide us in the right way, because that's what the pastor does, right?
Absolutely.
Guide us in the right way. So I like the second piece in terms of training the auxiliary groups, because sometimes the usher go left and right. You got to get them right.
Absolutely. And we do have a day where it says training church auxiliaries. And one of the things that's happened in my church, when I was a child, we had choir number 1, choir number 2, usher board number 1, usher board number 2. Those were your auxiliaries. And mothers and deacons board.
Right.
Our small church that houses 200 on a regular, we have 14 ministries.
Wow.
14.
Yeah.
One of them is a food bag ministry. We have outreach where we're going out into the community to bring people in. I mean, there's so many ministries. So if you have this vehicle, then it would behoove you to find the best way to use it.
Right.
So we're going to train auxiliaries, and we finally convinced folk, I think, that the church is not the 4 walls.
Yes.
Right.
But that we are the church. And so one of the things that COVID has done, a positive thing, COVID has said, it's not the brick and mortar.
Right.
It's not even the pastor.
Right.
It's you.
It's you.
Yeah. So now when you talk about an auxiliary, you mean to tell me that as a mother, a member of the Mothers Board, that it is my duty without the other 18 mothers to go into the community? Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? How do you approach somebody without beating them over the head with the scripture? How do you do that? So when we train auxiliaries, then that benefits the entire association as well as all the communities that they'll go back to.
Right.
Yeah. So good things are happening. And then again, every evening there is a sermon. So we are going to treat every part of you, and then we are going to make sure we feed your spirit man. That's important.
Yes.
And I'm telling y'all, we have got a great line of preachers. They are bringing the word. And it's not like the old word where people used to hem and haw and snort and all that kind of stuff. Our ministers now, they preach and they teach. Y'all remember?
No, you're right. Yeah, I need a lesson. I need some meat that I can go back and use on a daily basis. Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
It's no more preaching and sweating, and when you get to the porch, you forgot what he talked about.
Correct.
It's not that anymore. Ministers are younger, they are stimulating, they are well read, and the congregation is reading.
Right.
The congregation is reading. So you can't come with your B game, you got to come with the A game.
There it is.
Yeah, because I know about Philippians and Ephesians and 1st and 2nd Corinthians and Mark and Luke. I know about that. So you can't tell me anything.
Right. Cam, how are you?
I'm sorry.
Even the audience is already in a celebration mode. So I can only imagine. So you know what? You said something that sparked my interest. If it's out of the 4 walls, are you guys going to be Zooming this conference or online?
You know what? And I'll have to ask Elder Bernie, because all of our services, like at my church, we are Zooming, we are live streaming.
Right.
So that the people who are still not coming back, they get to see our church live in real time. So I've got to ask Pastor Bernie, because that's the way we did our Sunday school convention. We actually streamed it. So I'll ask. That's a good question, because that's not something I've been talking about.
Gotcha. Yeah. I know we want to get people out and, get them involved and at least, fist pumping or elbowing. But, we still could use the technology to get the word out to the masses, right? So
absolutely.
It's interesting that you have 40 churches, 40 different churches coming together. That's huge. It's hard to get one
Yeah.
church to come together.
Yeah. But I would say this though. I think technology is great, and to be able to reach the masses. But I still would say those who can, those who can, please come. I mean, you're going to the football games now.
Yeah.
So if you're going and shouting at the football game, you can at least come and shout and praise the Lord together. So
This is an indoor and outdoor event. We didn't even get to that next, which is the vendors.
mhm.
Mother Kirk, you want to talk about our vendors and our people that are going to be selling downstairs?
Yes, that's a part of our culture. We've got to go and buy the new hat. We've got to go and buy the new white dress, that sort of thing. But we're giving vendors an opportunity to bless the people as well, to come out and show us what they've got. And then for the conventioneers to, buy some new and up-to-date kind of stuff. So again, we're going to have food vendors. We're going to have clothes vendors. I remember 2 years ago, a young lady that she was selling books. They had a marriage counselor. So you're able to get literature there. You're able to get jewelry, that sort of thing, African attire. So those things that the people that we're interested in is who we're trying to come. And the vending fee is not that expensive. You'll have to call and get the vendor's fee. But again, we are still open to vendors. But one of the things I want to say too, before we leave the wills and probates, it is so important that we own our own property. That's one of the things that we're trying to do at Old West. Mm-hmm. If we own that center, that's a legacy for our children's children. Mm-hmm. So again, what the Lord allows us to help somebody else do, He do for us. Those of us that have not finished paying our mortgage, that's inspiration to pay off our mortgage. For those that are looking to buy homes and they see that Old West not only is burning the mortgage this year, but that this edifice is going to be here for generations. That's one of the reasons we're trying to get people to say, hey, give to Old West. What you do for one, God help do for you. So again, that's one of my main goals, is to burn this mortgage so that we can see more, not just the African-American families, but more families in the community burn their mortgage as well.
Man, so that's a good segue, because Dr. Scott, he actually does a lot of financial literacy. And that's one thing I've shared with churches, period. Yes, we want to help pay off the edifice, the church, our community space, but we also want our members to have their spaces paid off too. Right. So if there's going to be somebody there to kind of talk to people about fixed rates and how they should, use their money and prepare their money to again own their own homes. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I believe that we really working on in our community is getting the people minds off of trying to get stuff for free.
Yeah.
When you have a level of wealth, you really don't think about how much it costs. You think about what it is you want, and do you value it enough to pay for it? And if you value it enough to pay for it, then you're going to go for it. And so I like to use this a lot of times in church from the standpoint of salvation is not free. We just didn't have to pay for it. Jesus paid the price. And so if I take you out to lunch, or dinner, and I pay the meal, just because you didn't pay doesn't mean it wasn't free, and so understand that there was an ultimate price to be paid, and Jesus was willing to pay that price. And so what we got to understand is that we got to get out of the mindset of I'm looking for something free. No, God has blessed me to develop a level of wealth that whatever it is He has for me, I can go get it. Whatever He has for me to do, I can go pay for it. And I truly believe that when God is calling the ministry to do the work, like He's calling this particular association and doing the work that they're doing, He puts things in place and plan in place that He's always going to provide for the needs so that they can continue to do the work in the community. And the way He provides that a lot of times is by using people like us to come in. He said He'll cause men to give unto your bosom. So again, so don't look at it and say, let me see what can I do and get for free. This may be an opportunity you can say, this is how I can share in the mission. This is how I can participate. I may not be in that community, but I can participate in this particular event by helping and assisting them to reach the masses as well.
I like that because I think the whole premise of this tonight is that we want to train so that we can help you so that you can help us. It's almost like you scratch my back, I scratch your back. Everybody's benefiting. One of my favorite words. It's a win-win opportunity, right? So, you're coming in, you're getting some good knowledge, getting some good training, and getting some, again, personal development as well. That's my piece. Some personal training so that you can come back and say, well, I can now help somebody else. So what else is on the docket?
Well, one of the other things that let me put a pin in this before I go. I've got to write down Marvin Scott, because we do not have financial training on this slate of workshops, but throughout the year, I mean, we just come together for the 52nd, but throughout the year, we've been working on mental health. We've had workshops on mental health and blood pressure and diabetes and all those things. But for the first time in my 70 years, I have never heard so much conversation about building wealth in the Black community.
Correct.
Building wealth. That isn't something we talked about. That isn't even something that we thought we could aspire to.
Right.
But now that we're talking about building wealth, never before have I heard the conversation about insurance being a way to build wealth, because all we were trying to do was pay for that plot. And you bury grandmama. And so now we are learning the education that's coming, that you can actually purchase an insurance policy for your grandchildren.
Right.
And we can use it as a way to build wealth. So trust me, we will be calling you.
Okay.
But one of the other workshops that we got to have is called Strengthening the Church. And remember I said that we are the church. So just imagine the depth and the wealth of a workshop that says Strengthening the Church, one church at a time, you, and you.
Right.
So if all of us are strong, like the analogy of we pay off the edifice, but how about your mortgage?
Right.
That you own something.
Right.
And that's what I love about the Enrichment Center, is that whether we care to say it out loud or not, if it's politically correct, this will be something that the Black community owns.
Right.
Well,
let me bring that back. Bring that back. You got to be be proud. Back and proud.
Well, and this is my thing.
Absolutely.
This is something you own. You own it. It's yours. Now, we welcome all people.
Absolutely.
But it's something that you own, right?
Absolutely.
And if I can say this, it's time out for being politically correct. It's time for being correct.
Oh, thank you, sir.
All right.
It's just time to tell it like it is. It's nothing against anybody else. I mean, we are trained to love people, period. But when you understand that this house is on fire, it's not that I don't care about the other houses, but let's put some water on this one. Let's give some attention to this one. And that's all we're saying, is that our community for so long, we've been turned away from ownership, and it's like almost like only a few people get to this place of ownership. And even now, they're telling people now, you shouldn't own your property. It might be better to rent. Financially, all those different things. And so, no, it's time out for that. So hey, let's just be correct. And sometimes when you say the truth, it hurts. And sometimes you step on some toes. But if you can't say amen, just say, ouch, I'm the man, you found me.
Yeah, I like the piece where you're building to purchase the main church, the community church. And then the community church, from that, we start paying off all of the other 40 churches. That to me is powerful, right? Get all the 40 churches off, then we start paying off the mortgages to the people who help pay the church off. Talk about that.
Well, one of the things that I absolutely love, and I'm a retired teacher, with emphasis on retired.
Well, teachers never retire, because I'm an educator. So
don't put it out there. Don't put it out there. I got parents calling me now. Don't put it out there. Listen, the best teaching is the things that you do visually.
Right.
I can hear what you say, but when I can see it.
Yes.
So just imagine that there are red bricks in front of the enrichment center with people's names on them where they contributed a certain amount of money. There are plates on the windows. So I may not have done anything big in my life, but I have contributed to this huge edifice. I've contributed to that. And so it's a part of me. So we don't have to go to the Civic Center. We don't have to go to different places all the time. We've got our place. I like that. And then once you see that, you mean to tell me my uncle was very instrumental in, Reverend James Austin was instrumental in getting together and getting it started and the whole out of the ground. Well, Uncle James has died, but his son is living and his niece and grandchildren and grandnieces. So we got to see what he put into it. It was important to him. And so we feel the same way. It's important to us. So once you see it, then you own it and you can say, okay, let's push forward. So if we can do it, 40 churches strong can do it, over 3,000 people, if they can do it, we can do it at Shady Grove and I can do it at my house.
Correct.
That's important.
Correct.
That's important.
Yeah.
So I think we are leaving such a legacy. My children are watching me. My son is watching me contribute to this place. And when he gets ready to get married or whatever event he wants, I can go there. Everybody knows the Enrichment Center. They know that.
Right.
And they know that it's about the Old West Florida Primitive Baptist Association. They know that. So I am proud of that. And I think that's what, when we come together once a year, it's our chance to shine.
Yes. I think I love that because, again, sometimes we do need to see it. We need to see it in action, right?
Absolutely.
So getting that one, then getting that 2, then getting that 40, then getting the 40 to get 400. That's the real Black wealth, right?
Absolutely.
We all own the properties that we have. Now you can go in and talk about some major changes.
Absolutely.
Right.
But that's a whole nother kitchen talk.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's a whole nother talk. I mean, we talking about some real money, but let's go to the next night. You gave us the.
So I gave you on Wednesday night. It's when we were having the one that I told you about, the wills, the eminent domain. That's Wednesday night, and then on Thursday night, forgive me as I'm flipping through my papers. Thursday night, we're having a panel discussion on. Well, before we go there, we're going to do Thursday morning. We're going to do church auxiliary training, and that's when I told you about. All the different auxiliaries in the church. Then on Friday, we're going to have a panel discussion about strengthening the church. And that's when I said this church and then our unified churches and then our huge association church. So those are our 3 workshops. Now, in the midst of all the things that happen, we have a women's congress and Mother Pat Mays is our president. So she will give her address. On Sunday, our moderator will give his address. That's his sermon at 11 o'clock in the morning. And at 2:30, we will finish up with Elder Kenton Floyd. We'll bring that last message. So hopefully everybody will say, I have already crossed out the week. And if you're looking for me between 9 o'clock and 8:30, I'm going to be at the Enrichment Center. I'm going to be there doing something. And hopefully, and out of all that we're doing, I could not stop. Out of all of this, God gets the glory.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah.
God gets the glory.
Yes.
Now, do you have is this information on the website or like?
We're gonna have our engineer throw up. There it is. There it is. 152 years. Can you believe it? And you know what? You guys didn't really celebrate 151 because of COVID. So now we got 2 years that we got to bring it down.
We got to bring it down.
We got to shake it up for this one.
We got to do it. And listen, Saturday night, no matter who you are in the community, for $75, you can come to the Tallahassee Civic Center and partake of TCC. I said Civic Center. I meant TCC, Tallahassee Community College, and partake of a wonderful meal. And Mother Angela, do you know the name of the speaker?
No.
Okay.
No, I think it's going to be a surprise. Okay.
All right. So a surprise speaker, but that is always an absolutely wonderful time. It's a wonderful time. So we want you all to come. The tickets are $75, and trust me, it'll be worth every dime.
So is it a formal affair?
It is a formal affair.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
You get to dress up.
Now, I want to go back to something about the pastors and you know having to get bail. I just need to know. I mean, are they doing hard time like Club Fed?
Listen, they are doing hard time because
Listen.
typical black pastors will say, and they've said, "What we gonna eat?" You're not.
I was thinking
You're
that.
not. You are
Hey,
not. You're
listen.
not.
We need to put some pressure on these members to get their pastors out because they ain't in there chilling, eating a 5-course meal. No, they way down. We need the pastor singing an old Negro spiritual. You hear me?
Yes.
And brother,
They need to call one. Hey, look, I need y'all to get me out of here, man.
Brother Scott, that is our modus operandi. And do you know that pastors have already started trash talking? They have already started
Who's
trash
gonna be
talking.
the first one to get out? That's what I want to know.
Reverend Anderson said he already has his bail because he can't depend on his members. So we are going to give them access to telephones. We're going to be calling friends, neighbors, and enemies because what you don't want to do is be the last person.
It'd be the last one in there. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're encouraging them to come on down. So that now here's the trash talking. You gonna let your pastor sit up in jail?
yes. Yeah.
Hey,
Your church.
listen.
Your
Hey.
church. Say the door number one. You let your oh.
Hey, listen, it all depends on how he preached. It all depends on how he preached about him on that Sunday. You know, if Usher Boy number one didn't like him, oh, he got to sit.
He got to sit. He got to sit.
Well, I am going to share with you something that Greg James said. He said about he wants to come down to the enrichment center and he doesn't want to let him out.
Oh Lord. Do you need to put Greg? Greg need to be in there. He needs to be
in there.
He said preachers in jail, he wanted him to stay. So I said,
no, he need to be up in there. Get him off the radio. He got enough connections. Hopefully he get out first, but he got enough connections to get out.
Well, see, he's not primitive Baptist, so he is helping us get our pastor out.
Got you.
Yeah. So he said he was on the phone call with our pastor earlier that day, and trying to hit him up. We got to get him out. We can't let our pastor stay. We can't.
I think my pastor has Ben Crump on speed dial.
Oh.
He got a heavy hitter then.
He got a heavy hitter. That's another alpha man. Get him out. Get him out.
We got to get him out. And when I said no eating,
that's
a major one. And we're picking them up at 9:00. So they got to come down at 9:00.
Wow.
In jail for the duration. So if they don't eat breakfast,
that's on them.
Bread and water.
That's it.
Bread and water. That's it.
Yeah. So we're going to be down with our cell phones. Call, Pastor, give me a number. Who can I call? Calling friends and neighbors, and you can Giblify. You can bring the cash down. However you get it to us, we want it, but we got to get them out.
Well, I hope the pastors are filled with some good Holy Ghost.
Me too.
Well,
hopefully they can get out by 10 o'clock.
Paul and Silas, they sung songs and praise God, and then the doors are open. So they better get the singing and the praising.
Well, unfortunately, Brother Scott, the only song that's gonna let him out is Cha-Ching. Cha-Ching. I'm sorry.
Listen, who's gonna be the jailer? Who's gonna be keeping them in check?
Well, our youth are coming down to help us. They're the ones that are constructing the jails.
Gotcha.
They're going to make sure that nobody gets out until that money is paid.
They're creative. They'll get it. They're creative.
They are very creative. They're going to get it. So we are so excited about this song. And it makes it even more exciting because we couldn't do like we wanted to do last year. So now is our time to really put the association out there, to put the 40 churches out there, and to let the community know that we're still loving on them. We are here to service you. And so let's come together and celebrate this organization. And
I have a question for you. So let's say, because you said it earlier, a lot of people are using this facility, right? And I know they probably pay a little bit to rent the facility out, to have access to it. Is there a way for people to donate?
Absolutely. Yes. Could you put my number somewhere? 850. Okay. Yeah.
We'll have the engineer kind of pull that up.
Yeah, but that's what I was kind of getting to, because I know you were putting the flyer up. But what I wasn't seeing was, again, I needed for the people to be able to say, hey, look, you could go to this website and everything you need to know is on this website. If you want to be a vendor, there's a link for the vendors there. Who knows? I have a book. I may want to be a vendor. I need to know. Me and Francis might say, we're gonna put our books up there and hey.
Because my book is all about strategic planning, and that's what this event is about. It's about strategically working collaboratively to put each other on the map, not just my one church, but how do we work together collaboratively? 40 churches, man, that's still blowing my mind. You know what it takes? And it's primitive Baptist. And it's primitive 40 churches.
Easy, brother Moise. Easy.
Hey, listen, like we said, we're not being politically correct. We're being correct.
I love it. He go to the website right there.
That's our website. And we are making contributions. And for contributions, we're using Giblify, and that's the West Florida Primitive Baptist Association. So if you tap on Giblify and send it to us, we will get your money.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good way.
And Sister Arnetta Williams is at the Enrichment Center 5 days a week. So if you would go down to the Enrichment Center, if you said, listen, I don't like to give fly, I want to give my cash money, we will take your money, we will take your check, we will take your card. We will take your car if that's what you want to give us.
Right.
And let me say this to that, because somebody might hear that, but listen, Goodwill takes your car too.
That's true.
Yes,
that's true.
Goodwill takes it for free. Goodwill takes it for free.
So let's not I just want to put that out there, because sometimes people feel like the church's supposed to give everything for free, but no one, they cringe when you start talking about giving to the church. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like I say, every time you give out book bags, it's not free. Somebody had to pay for it.
Absolutely.
Anytime you feed someone, it's not free. Somebody had to pay for it. When you turn the lights on in the church, the utility that you burn, it has to be paid for.
Correct.
So we want people to understand that God uses people to run and pay for the things in the church. When you go back in the days of Moses, God told Moses to command the people to give a free will offering, so that they can build the tabernacle and put everything in the tabernacle. And one thing I love about it is the people gave so much that Moses had to tell the people stop. Hey, because they were bringing too much. And I think what happened is people still heard to stop, and now they feel like they don't have to give the same. But listen, if you give, I'm a strong believer that if you give, God will cause it to come back to you.
Absolutely.
And when you're giving from your heart, one thing I can tell you is when you're giving from your heart and you give, you can't worry about what happens to it after you give it. Right. You know what I mean? What you do with it after I give it, that's between you and God. Right. But I gave out of my heart, and God said he loves a cheerful giver. And he'll cause all grace to abound unto me, that I always have all sufficiency in all things and abound unto every good work. Come on. And then he says he provides seed to the sower, right? And he'll multiply our seed sown. Come on now. So listen, you can't expect God to multiply nothing if you ain't willing to give. I tell people all the time, it's time out for praying that unscriptural prayer. Bless those that have the need, the desire, but not the means. That's not true. Because God, if you ain't got but 2 mites, God, Jesus talked about the woman who gave out of her knee. That's all she had, but she gave. And so it's time out for letting people get away with not giving because they say they ain't had the means. You bought some fingernails, you got your hair done, you had money, and now, but you want to get everything for free. But I'm telling you, as blessed people of God, when you understand, when I sow, I get to reap. Mm-hmm. It's not about somebody trying to get money from me. It's about how do I walk in the fullness of God. He said he will rebuke the devourer for my sake, based off my tithe and my offering.
Dr. Scott, You already started the association night.
Preach, Elder Scott.
I'm sorry, boy.
Preach, Elder Scott.
That's the preacher in me now. That's the preacher in me now.
Well, we can appreciate the preacher in you because I'm sure that you are aware of the times as we are. You know, folk are not working because they're getting monies from all those other supported things. And so they figured out, well, I can make more money staying home than working. So our mindsets have changed, but I'm so glad you talked about the principle of sowing and reaping. And that's the appeal we need to make, because everybody, the minute you say give to the church, hands close up, because I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and this is going on at my church, and but it's not about that. We're talking about unity, and we're talking about kingdom building.
Right.
So you give. And that's a principle that we continue to teach in our church, because you have to get it. You know, you can talk about it all the time, but you got to get it. Once you get it, then it's easy to give. But you know, the story that we didn't talk about is the rich young ruler. And he said, what must I do to be saved? And God said, sell all you got. And he went, oh, and he went away. He gave up salvation for his stuff.
Right.
So you know, that's still in the Bible, and that mindset still permeates throughout the community. So
you know, this is the mindset that I want us to kind of, you know, this is what this tonight was about, is legacy, right? It's a legacy piece.
Right.
So my church in Miami, Florida, Haitian Evangelical Baptist Church on 14th Street, we built our church. And to this day, when I go home to visit, I sit on our family pew.
Awesome.
All right.
We literally built that church from the ground up. I helped put the concrete down, got on the roof, broomed the floors. There's a piece of like, man, this was something that I did, an accomplishment. I was a part of something that was amazing, right?
Yeah.
So to be able to go back and sit on that bench, or to see my brick, you know, on the floor, it's almost like going back to FAMU and, oh, that's my brick. You know, I helped pay for that. I helped push that. There's a legacy behind that we need to continue to honor. But you said it again tonight, you know, once that edifice is paid off, then we can continue the legacy by helping others to pay their churches off, their centers off.
But it's also about that example. You know, it's not just about me. Okay, we pay off this building. Now I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna help you pay yours off. It's about, we're setting an example. You know, I look at things now that my boys, my sons get to see, and so they have an expectation for that. When I was growing up, I didn't have an expectation for. Right. So like me and my youngest son, we had a conversation today, and we were just talking about some things. And he just realized that now, you know, I get to see, I've experienced some things that put me in a different place mentally, that when I was a kid, no, I wasn't in that place. I didn't understand money management when I first, you know, I grew up poor. So my thing was, when you get money, what do you do with it? You spend it, you know? And so that was my mindset, you know? And so it's understanding that legacy and that process of being able to put people in a different place. If I see it and I see you do it, then that puts something in me to says, you know what, I can do it too. And I'll say this, because this is one thing we see with this generation. Everybody wants to be a YouTube star, and everybody wants to be an influencer. Why? Because they seen someone else do it. They see someone else making money. And so they say, I see them do it, I want to do it. What happens is, and we have to do a better job in the church, we talk about certain things in the church, but then they don't really see us do it. They don't really see it. And then some things in the church, it's like it's taboo, so we don't even talk about it. So we don't talk about owning your home, not in every church. You know what I mean? Some churches talk about it, and then they say, oh, all they do is talk about is money. You follow what I'm saying? So being able to have a situation where, we're working towards paying something off, and we want to set this example, because you know what? We do it for this, you can do it for your own home. Set a plan, write the vision, make it plain. If you don't know how to do it yourself, sit down with somebody. Let them help you make a plan so that you can pay off your mortgage, so that you can become debt free. You know what I mean? So I just think it's important to set the example of, this is what we did, and now guess what? You can do it too.
I love it because that's what the Old West community, that's what you guys are about to do. You're about to show them. You're going to show them on this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. People will be able to see, families will be able to see what's happening, how we can make a difference, how we come together. 40 churches.
Absolutely.
Lord.
And to punctuate that, Brother Moise, 152 years.
Yes.
There are people in our churches that are, there's a lady in our church that's 95 years old. So let me tell you the richness of that. She can remember wooden doors.
Yes.
No electricity.
Wow.
No instruments, but beating on a washboard. She can remember. So that's why every now and then you have to look back.
Right.
Because my children don't even know what a washboard is.
Right.
Let alone the fact that a spoon, that's what we used.
Spoon in the washboard.
Yes, sir. And the spirit was so high, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. We were serving the Almighty God.
Right.
So look at what 152 years from the Brush Harbor, when they had church under a tree. Hallelujah. So you had church with wooden doors and windows. Hallelujah. So now we've come with stained glass windows, bricks with your name on it, gold plates on the back of the seat, people that have donated to the windows. This church is humongous. This edifice is humongous. And everybody can say, Reverend Smith died this year. He did the plumbing.
Wow.
My Uncle James helped with the plans. He's deceased. Elder Jefferson did the wiring. He died last year. So we have been able to see the productivity of these people.
Right.
And so now you take the torch and you run with it.
And you run with it, right?
You run with it. And so that's what we want to do. We want to write the vision, make it plain, so our youth can grab it and run with it.
For another 150 years.
For another 100 years. So now we got emphasis, but on the same property, there can be a hotel.
Oh, yeah.
There can be a school.
I remember when they were
listen, you're starting a whole nother kitchen talk right now. You're talking about hotel and businesses.
Yeah.
You got a whole nother
Well, that's building wealth. That's
correct. And now it's in the realm of possibility. It is in the realm of possibility.
It is.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. It's amazing.
Now you can think it and dream it because you know it can come true.
But it starts with paying off that first building.
That's right.
So then you can free up that money for your second building. And you can free up that after you paid off that second building for your third and your fourth. So it's some continuity to it.
Right. Yeah. Once you got the blueprint, you could just redo it over and over again, right? So you know, I gotta ask our engineer to put up the flyers again because we can't leave tonight without seeing those again. 152 years, man. Men in black, women in white. Oh, I missed that.
You missed that one. It was awesome.
MIB.
It was awesome.
Right.
It was awesome.
I love it. And then you got your get out of jail. I want you to at least let us, man, I got to find out who's the first pastor to get out. I got to find out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell it to you. I'm going to make sure that Minister Lorraine lets you know that.
Yes, got to find out.
Also, who's last?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I want to know which one. I want to know which one you gonna help get out.
Who, me? Listen, I'm keeping all of them in. My money going straight to the church. My donation's going straight to the church.
Okay.
All of them gonna call me. I'm like, I already made mine. There it is. They're gonna be jailed up. So it's Saturday. Oh man, I can't wait to find out who gets out of this thing.
Yeah.
And we can't forget, of course, the TCC ball. I think that's going to be huge.
That's going to be huge.
That's going to be huge. The banquet, man, 102, and it's only $75. So
only $75.
Let me ask, even if you're not going to the banquet, can you make that donation of $75 for the event?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, we encourage you to make the donation because there are only 300 seats.
Okay.
And once those 300 seats are filled, then
that's
no place else to sit. But listen, send the $75. Let me get your
Oh, did you see it already? It's already up. It's already up. Yeah, oldwestflorida.org. Go ahead. You can make your donation tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And you know, I really want to say this because it's an old Haitian adage, you know, when all hands come together, we make the work lighter. So it don't have to be 75. It could be $2.
Absolutely.
$1. Absolutely. Every penny makes a difference. And I think that is what's going to help us to, again, get to where we want to be. And we talked about the past. Now we're looking towards the future.
Towards the future.
Yeah.
So if everybody helps, then we make that road a little bit easier for us to cross. So if you can't do, you know, 75, can't do 100, can't do 1,000, we're looking for thousands too. We're not just looking for ones and tens. We're looking for 10,000. If you're riding your wheel and your wheels and your last testimonies, put that insurance money to the Old West. Put that insurance money to your churches, because that's who's helping and giving back to the community. So this was a great evening, mothers. I really had a great time. As I said, it was going to be a hot topic because once Dr. Scott came on, it's done. He started the whole evening. Man.
Reverend Dr. Scott.
Oh, man. So again, one more time. Give it to us one more time.
Okay,
the lineup so that people know from Thursday to Sunday.
Okay. It's the Old West Florida Primitive Baptist Association, our 152nd annual session. We are going to finish our auxiliary activities with our jail and bail on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. We are arresting our pastors, and the only way they can get out is if they pay their bail. So whether you know the pastors individually or not, just have mercy on a preacher in jail. Give to Givelify, call us up at the center, and we will get your monies and let our pastors out of jail. All of the money will go toward paying off our mortgage, which we are intending to burn and outright own the building. Praise the Lord. And then starting on Tuesday night will be the annual session. The annual session runs from Tuesday all the way to Friday. Each day there are workshops during the day, a speaker in the evening at 6:30. On Saturday, we are having our anniversary banquet at the Tallahassee Community College. The tickets are $75. There are still a few out there. We'd like you to purchase those tickets. We're going to have a surprise speaker, so please come out and enjoy with us. And then on Sunday, there will be our culminating activities. We will have our moderator, Elder Chris Burney, will bring the message at 11 o'clock, and the vice moderator, Elder Kenton Floyd, will bring the message at 2:30. So please come. You can get spiritually fed. You can be physically fed. You can be morally, socially, emotionally fed. But it's all for the glory of God and the upbuilding of the kingdom. You are invited. Please come.
Well, ladies, thank you again for sharing and adding value to the kitchen. As our host would always say, Miss Lisa would always say, you are welcome back anytime. So just like Dr. Scott has a key to the city, I'm also giving you a key to the show. You can come on back and give us some, because we actually have some more kitchen talks from tonight. I think we got some really good topics that we can talk about that address our community. But to all our families who are out, again, thank you for showing some love. Cam, some of our old guests, we were out last week, we're back. So we want to thank you for your support. We will be back next week, Thursday, same time, same place. If you are not followed us yet, please press that like button on YouTube, on social media outlets. We're trying to grow just like the Old West Church. We're trying to get more than 5,000 members to watch and hear and learn as we, again, heat up the kitchen.
Amen.
So, again, thank you for showing. Thank you. We're going to send them some love out.
Shout out to Lisa.
JT, and definitely to Miss Lisa.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a special show for our #1 fan. We got to have this show for our #1 fan. So we want to send some love out to Miss Lisa and some prayers out to her family.
Yeah.
We already know. So those who know, you know.
Mhm.
And JT, same thing. Sending some love out to his way. Again, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Same time, same place next week. Kitchen Talk CTC.
Conversations that cook.
There it is.
Thank you for having us. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.